Hi guys, afternoon to you, and welcome to another edition of the EdWord. I am your host Eddie, and happy Easter to you. And today's episode, I will be discussing my predictions for what I think may happen or for what's to come in Season 6 of The Walking Dead. First off, the reason I'm doing this predictions video on today is because it's exactly 1 week after Season 5 finished. And now that withdrawal period is going to kick in for the rest of us who have to wait 10 months and 7 months until the show finally returns. Or 6 months actually now, until the show returns. But hopefully these next 6 months will go by in the flash because we'll be distracted with the spin-off Fear the Walking Dead, numerous other TV shows that are premiering in summer, and of course all the big blockbuster hit films. Anyway, moving on. So, for Season 6 of The Walking Dead, I think we're definitely going to get a flashback episode as to what has happened to Morgan between the time he left Rick's hometown and the time he showed up in Alexandria. So I think we're going to get a full, broad scope of how, like, what he's been through, who he's met, like whom he's encountered, and how he became a freaking Kung Fu master with the staff. I'm sorry, please be warned that this video I will be referring to Season 5 quite a bit throughout this video, so if you're not caught up on Season 5 or the season finale, don't continue watching, and if I spoiled something for you, I'm really, really sorry. Anyway, that being said, and then I think, I didn't watch the entire episode of Talking Dead following the season finale of Walking Dead, but numerous people have confirmed and told me that the actor Lenny James has confirmed that we're going to get some kind of backstory excuse me, what's the word I'm looking for? Shoot, I'm having a mind fart right now. Or some kind of backflash episode of how Morgan became so handy with a walking stick. So that's exciting to think about. Now, obviously, there's going to be an adjustment, a shift in terms of power, because Deanna, the poor woman, she looks up at Rick and she's like, do it, referring to, kill Pete, because, Pete had to go. He was just too much of an asshole. Plus, yeah, he was a surgeon, but you know what? Rick's people are more than capable of taking care of, or more than capable of medical treatment. I mean, they have Rosita and Carol, both of whom have had experience with treating people's injuries. So I think they'll be okay without a doctor for now. Plus, having a doctor is the least of their worries. I mean, nobody knows it yet, but the wolves are coming. They have Aaron's backpack, which he dropped while he and Errol were being swarmed by walkers. And now those two creeps, the two scouts for the wolves, have the photos and the map to Alexandria. So the wolves are coming. That is for certain. And the worst part is nobody even knows about it. Rick's people don't know about it. The people of Alexandria don't know about it. But there's definitely going to be a power shift. I think Deanna is mostly, for the most part, going to be turning things over to Rick because he is a much, much more capable leader than she is in terms of being a true survivor. She is, in fact, a leader. She's extremely capable as a leader, but she's weak in certain areas like hardcore survival tactics, which is what Rick is going to train the rest of the citizens on. So, I think we're going to see Rick and a few others take the role of leadership as in Alexandria, and really train the citizens of how to protect and defend yourselves from walkers, but especially humans. The people of Alexandria, they can handle themselves sort of when it comes to walkers, but when it comes to humans, the human threat, the real danger, you gotta be ready to do horrible, nasty things in order to protect yourself and your loved ones. And I think that's what Rick and his people are going to do for the people of Alexandria. All right, we are here. We've shown up in your town. Thank you for bringing us in. Now we're going to teach you how to survive. We're going to show you what you have to do in order to survive. So we're definitely going to see some big adjustments, some changes happen in Alexandria. And speaking of adjustments, the Jesse-Rick relationship is a little tricky because obviously he just executed her husband point blank right in front of her because she was at that little forum, that town meeting. But, the thing is that, we don't really know exactly how Jesse has felt about Pete ever since the apocalypse started. And it'll be curious to know, was Pete an abusive drunk before the apocalypse or afterwards? What if the apocalypse triggered this alcoholic abusive side to him that she and her sons never knew he had? Or maybe was he like this all along? Was he like this way before the apocalypse started? Was he abusing her? Was he abusing and hitting the boys way before zombies ever even entered the picture? Or was it a case that maybe he was a decent guy, but when the apocalypse kicked in, they went through some traumatic experiences or whatever, or he did, and something in him made him snap, and he became an abusive alcoholic. Who knows? I mean, hopefully we'll get more of a backstory on Jesse and Pete's relationship, so we can get Jesse's perspective on things, because it's important to understand where Jesse is coming from. But her relationship with Rick now is really, really going to be rocky. At least for the beginning of season 6, it's going to be extremely rocky, in my opinion. He just executed her husband right in front of her. Yes, he was a prick. Yes, he was abusive, and he would hit her, and most likely was hitting her boys. So it's going to be hard. Is Jesse going to be like, thank you, Rick. You've saved me from my abusive husband. You've saved my boys. Let me reward you in the only way I know how. Or we'll be like, back off, dude. You think you can get any of this after doing that? Back the hell off. We need our space right now, okay? I don't really know what our relationship is right now because I have complicated feelings for you, but I'm also a victim of abuse, so I'm already kind of emotionally fucked up in the head. So you need to back this shit off. So, that we're going to see the relationship grow either for the better or for the worse, definitely between Rick and Jesse. And we're also going to see how the boys are going to handle it, especially the youngest, because he's the one who, after all, went to Carol a couple episodes back asking if he could borrow one of the guns she took for someone. And it was pretty obvious that someone he was referring to his mom, and that's when Carol immediately was like, uh-oh. This kid has an abusive dad, I can already tell. I've been there, I know all the signs. So it's going to be hard. Will Jesse and Pete's sons, will they be like, thanks, Mr. Grimes, for killing my evil dad. He was a bastard. Or will they be like, Mommy, he shot Daddy in the head. What do we do? Sorry. But I'm trying to make my point here. But it'll be interesting to see how the relationship between Jesse and Rick will grow and change because of Pete's death. Will it be for the better or will it be for the worse? I see it starting off as rather rocky. And then I think Jesse and her sons, or at least Jesse, will eventually come around to him. That being said, what else can we expect? So, Rick's pretty much taken charge of Alexandria, and fortunately it wasn't through force, it was through circumstances. And Deanna, I think she's definitely going to be like, okay, you guys say we're not prepared and ready, teach us, show us how, show us the way. So I'm glad that we're going to be seeing that. Plus, now that Morgan has finally arrived and he's reunited with Rick, it's like, ooh, now we have this badass kung fu master with us. So that'll be interesting. And another interesting thing on the subjects of Kung Fu, I'm interested to see if the show is going to take a similar course. And be advised, before I continue, if you're a fan of the show and you're not familiar with the comics at all, you might want to plug your ears for a couple minutes here, because I will be referring to the comics briefly for the next couple seconds. It'll be interesting to see if the show will take the direction of the Michonne-Morgan relationship from the comics and put it into the show. Because in the show, they could both bond over, using similar tactics and weapons. Michonne's got this badass samurai sword, which of course she's going to be using again. I mean, she really doesn't have a choice. And Morgan is a freaking walking stick master now, and knows